And then we move on to the next step, hierarchy building. Like we have covered before, a strong visual hierarchy makes content much easier to understand. The 4 key elements of building visual hierarchy are size, form, space, and color. Try to read this example. I bet most of you did exactly what I predicted, right? Because there's a pattern on how people read. Once you understand these rules, you can create layouts that are very easy to follow and understand. So let's rewind back to the bare state. Without any guidance, you would naturally read from top to bottom. When you adjust the hierarchy, we usually start with size, which naturally, the more important, the bigger. Your attention will be drawn to the biggest object, even though it is on the second line. Then to even increase the contrast, you can change their form by bolding, adding underline or italics. Let's just bold them here. Another way of drawing attention is to give content a lot of breathing space. If there is substantial white space around an object, the element will be more visible to readers. So remember to give enough space between the important and the less important objects. Lastly, you can use color to help something stand out. In this case, the colored text serves as a highlight. And that's the basics of visual hierarchy. Sounds pretty simple, right? But trust me, your presentation will be greatly enhanced once you have mastered these 4 elements. So going back to the example just now, this is where we left off. Let's try to use the elements we just learned to enhance this page. First, we can start with size. Make the heading the largest, and then the subtitle and the body the smallest. Next, the form. You can bold the headings and the subheadings to further strengthen the hierarchy. And then add space between the content to enhance readability. Remember to leave a good amount of white space between the heading and the body. And then you can add color on the text or color block behind the text. And basically at this point, you have made a pretty clear visual hierarchy. And from here, you can start playing around with the design, like adding icons or background graphics or rearranging for more creative layouts, which we will cover in the following lessons. So let's recap. When you have a deck that is full of lengthy text, don't rush to design it yet. You need to go through the simplification and hierarchy building steps to process each slide first, like converting this to this for the whole deck before you move on to any design. We have made the formula very simple so you can flexibly apply on any types of content. Let's try another scenario. Here's the original paragraph. So the first step of simplification is to divide. He has rehearsed 26 times for the dive in the beginning scene and was rescued by the lifeguard due to exhaustion. So that looks like part 1. The 6 minutes underwater scene took him half a month to complete. That looks like part 2. And he spent more than 10 hours in the water every day. That's part 3. Usually you divide where the period is, and then you divide them into 3 separate text blocks. And then you rank them. But unlike the previous example, these 3 points seem to be on the same level. They're all talking about this person's effort. So instead of ranking among them, you rank within each sentence, which means you need to find the keyword. So, he has rehearsed 26 times for the dive in the beginning scene. So 26 times seems to be the keyword. The 6 minutes underwater scene took him half a month to complete. So half a month looks like the keyword. And he spent more than 10 hours in the water every day, and 10 hours is the keyword. And then you can trim them. So he has rehearsed 26 times, can be deleted, and was rescued by lifeguard due to exhaustion seems redundant and can be explained by speech, so that can be erased as well. The 6 minutes underwater scene took him half a month to complete. That looks pretty concise already, so maybe just delete the duh. And he spent more than 10 hours in the water every day, and you can delete the he. And this is what you get. Okay? And next, you can build the hierarchy with size, form, space, and color that we covered before. So just now we actually enlarged the keywords a little bit and we added color. you can further bold it. And after this, what else can you do? In fact, this page still doesn't look very pleasant. The key points are here and there, and the audience still have to move their eyeballs around and even read the whole sentence to actually get them. So here's the tips. You can extract the key points from the sentence so the audience can have a quick glance of the top row and a skim of the rest to get what you mean. This way, you minimize their effort to read your slide. By extracting the key points and applying the same structure, your audience can process all the information at the same time instead of one by one. You can even take one step further to extract the verb. So, 26 times rehearsed for the dive in the beginning scene, you can extract the rehearsed. And half a month to complete the 6 minutes underwater scene, you can change half a month to 15 days so that it is more consistent with the other numbers and add took. As for 10 hours, you can extract the spent so it becomes spent 10 hours plus in the water every day. Okay, so and this is what you end up with. And this is already much clearer than the beginning. The work for visual hierarchy is pretty much done. From here, you can continue to add design by adding icons or photos, etc. So if a deck is complicated, I would strongly suggest you to process the text of the whole deck before moving on to design. Because if you switch from text processing to design and back to text processing and then design for the next slide, your brain needs time to adapt to the new mode every time. So try to process all the text in one go and then you deal with design in one go. And that is usually much more efficient and gives better results. So the one thing I want you to take away and apply as much as you can are these two formulas. They are simple and general enough for you to remember and apply in any kinds of scenarios, but takes practices to actually master them. So I have prepared 2 exercises for you to practice with these 2 formulas. It is very important for you to walk through the think process yourself because it is the only way for you to truly digest the formula and apply them in the future.